seriously, this New Jersey drone situation, it's really escalating. So New Jersey residents and lawmakers, they all want answers. And the Biden administration, well, they're coming up with nothing. Here, check this out.
I mean, this is something that everybody is talking about, and the fact that there is no kind of definite answer in regards to these drones, that's leading to a lot of mixed feelings.
It's so close, and it's going so... Look at it!
Frightening. I'd like to know exactly what's going on.
A feeling among many living in New Jersey and Pennsylvania that have seen and heard about large drones recently flying in the sky, especially at night.
I've seen them, yes. And it's kind of scary when you're driving down the road at night and you see these lights coming towards you in the sky. You don't know what it is.
If there was something up there that was not supposed to be up there, the F-35s, the F-18s, the multiple radars, the missile silos, multiple military things that are in New Jersey alone, I don't think they'd last longer than 5 seconds in the sky.
You know what, guys? It's just too bad President-elect Trump is still just a few weeks away. Otherwise, this would have been all sorted out by now. Our government really shouldn't get to pump fear into the populace. As you and I can see from people's reactions, we're way beyond pissed off about this nonsense. Well, for sure, whoever's behind this, their days are numbered as the people are getting closer and closer to the truth. William Dunn, president of Strategic Reliance Group and a Marines Corps veteran, he recently broke down the situation and he confirmed that the drones are likely coming from inside the U.S. Now, as for the motive behind the dangerous drone activity, here's what he said.
One thing I do believe, the government knows the source of these drones, and I believe the source of these drones are from inside the U.S., especially the larger drones. It's very difficult to fly an airplane the size of a vehicle into the United States without being detected. So I believe the drones originate from inside the U.S. I believe they're being used by government agencies or other agencies to support a specific mission that the government is not telling us about. The greater concern are the small drones that can be carried in a backpack, carried in a knapsack over the southern border by a nefarious actor that plans to do harm to the United States. So that's my biggest concern, and I think what we're seeing here is a combination of both. We're probably having U.S. drones as well as some of these smaller drones that are being flown in to do a specific purpose. Now, the question is, what are those drones doing? My belief is they're surveilling something. They're looking for something, either a chemical weapon, biological weapon, or maybe radiation. They're looking for something, or they're using them to pick up communications. Maybe there's been a lot of talk about having an open southern border and a lot of talk that there's an imminent terrorist threat. We could be using those drones to pick up communications from terrorists. And what I think we're going to unfortunately see is we're going to see an event sometime in the near future that will prove that that open border has been very dangerous to the United States. So these drones are launching probably from a military site or an agency site.
Now, honestly, it's nefarious no matter what it is because Americans are intentionally being deceived and riled up. And if our attention is being directed to these drones, then what other disturbing activities could these unknown parties be doing elsewhere? You know what I mean? As New York City Councilwoman Ina Vernikov put it, the Biden administration is certainly going out with a bang with this embarrassing mystery drone controversy. Watch.
Democrat Senator Chuck Schumer sounding off on combating these drones.
I am going to help pass, and I'm going to co-sponsor legislation that will combat these drones in a better way by allowing local police departments and state police departments to help the feds in sighting these drones. If the technology exists for a drone to make it up into the sky, there certainly is the technology that can track the craft with precision and determine what the heck is going on.
Sorry about that video there. He was wearing the same color sweater as the background, so he looked like a floating head and an arm. But in reality, he was talking about something very serious. New York City Councilwoman Ina Vernikov is here to talk about that serious thing as well. What are you demanding from the state and federal leaders on behalf of your constituents when it comes to these drones, which I know are freaking people out in your district too?
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. You know, the Biden administration is really going out with a bang here. The people have no clue what is going on here, what is hovering over their heads, and the fact that we still don't know is such an embarrassment on this administration. And we need answers right now, immediately.
What are some of the complaints that you're getting from your constituents?
Oh, people, they just have no clue what's going on here. And the fact that this is the United States of America, with all the money and resources that we have, not to know what is happening right now is completely unacceptable, and people are obviously freaking out.
Stay safe, you guys. And by the way, I seriously think Trump's inauguration should be held indoors, not outside. You remember what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania, right? The gunman, Thomas Crooks, was able to fly a drone over the area. That's how he found the perfect spot for his assassination attempt on President-elect Trump. Now, goodness knows what would have happened if he was successful. And so, guys, this is why we need to stay vigilant and really pay attention to the suspicious drone activity across the Northeast in recent weeks. So far, civilians, lawmakers, they've all reported drone sightings in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut, Ohio, and some other states. Now, some of the drones are as large as 6 feet in diameter, at least according to New Jersey State Representative Dawn Fantasia. And the local and federal law enforcement, they haven't exactly been super helpful when it comes to really getting information out to the public, especially as we've only gotten a little bit of information about their aerial activity. Colonel William Dunn, president of Strategic Resilience Group, a government consulting group, said that the government knows the source of these drones, and he believes the source of these drones is from inside the US, especially the larger drones. And this guy knows what he's talking about. He was an attack helicopter pilot who spent 33 years in the Marine Corps and is still pretty active as a government consultant to this day. He even recalled a time when he was flying a Cobra helicopter on an offshore route that he forgot to appropriately acknowledge and call the watchers. According to him, they found him pretty quickly. You see, he explained that a large drone has got to be refueled, so the drones flying over New Jersey that are 6 feet in diameter would have to be refueled somewhere within the United States. Now, the motive could really be anything at this point, ranging from surveillance to looking for something, either a chemical weapon, biological weapon, or maybe radiation. He especially mentioned the open southern border and a lot of talk that there's an imminent terrorist threat. Well, regardless of the motive, Dunn said that it makes us look weak as a nation. For the veteran military expert, we are telegraphing right now that we don't know where these drones are. We're telegraphing that we can fly these drones over US bases and we can't do anything about it. Now, our adversaries hear that and they see that now they can take a drone and fly over a base and do something terrible. And so that's why he recommends zapping them in a non-kinetic means. It means wiping out their electricity. Everything needs electricity to fly up there, and you can bring it down that way. For Raj Goyal, CEO of intelligence firm Badala and former Democratic Kansas state representative, the sooner that the policymaking world figures this out, the better off all of us will be from a safety perspective, from an economic growth perspective. And it looks like that's exactly what some of our elected officials are doing right now. At least some of them. That is Representative Chrissy Houlihan and Representative Andrew Garbino. They sent a letter to House Speaker Mike Johnson and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries urging them to craft counter unmanned aircraft systems legislation that would give local law enforcement certain permissions to protect their communities from drones. Biden administration officials even hosted a press conference regarding concerns surrounding the recent drone sightings. Representatives from the FBI, the Federal Aviation Administration, the National Security Council, the Department of Homeland Security, and even the Department of Defense attended the call. An FBI official said that his agency has received 5,000 tips since the first mysterious drone was seen flying over the Garden State in November. Now, of those 5,000 tips, fewer than 100 warranted further investigation. And yet, still no explanation. The best we got was an FBI official saying that investigators have found no evidence of large-scale unmanned drone activity despite the recent uptick in drone activity in recent weeks. They even called it a slight overreaction. I'm so sick of them saying that. See, that's how you know something's really up, when the FBI is gaslighting you that there's nothing to worry about. You know what I mean, guys? People are seeing it with their own eyes, and the FBI is telling us that we're overreacting. Yeah, that may have flown with the Biden administration, but the adults are back in charge now. So either they tell us now or we wait until January 20th and Trump comes in to drain the swamp. Either way. In fact, President-elect Trump has already weighed in. He said that he believes that the government knows more than what they're saying. In fact, he posted on Truth Social, "Let the public know and now. Otherwise, shoot them down. No government BS, just a plain and simple declaration." And that's probably why 77 million Americans voted for this man to be our president-elect. Drop me a quick comment down below, yes or no, if you agree or disagree with what we're saying here. Also hit the like button to show your support if you like the videos. Subscribe to the channel for more content. And of course, if you hate the content, don't subscribe and don't hit the like button. Matter of fact, hit the down like button. I'll tell you what, no media bias here, guys. Just truthful reporting from your boy Ron. And speaking of, if you're all set, let's get back to this discussion here. So here's something else that I found, guys. Michael B., a podcaster and paranormal investigator behind Terror Talk Productions YouTube channel, lives near Picatinny Arsenal, an army facility near where dozens of sightings have been reported in recent weeks. He was flying in the area, attempting to get a closer look at a larger unidentified object that he believes is a drone. He said that he had full battery life, but not 3 minutes into the flight, he suddenly lost control of the drone. Apparently, GPS-equipped drones that fly into restricted areas, places protected by virtual geofencing, can be repelled, stopped in place, or forced to land. But while the restricted flight area shut down his drone, the mystery one that he was trying to approach continued to fly. Then, of course, there's the Iranian mothership theory coming from a New Jersey congressman, Jeff Van Drew. According to him, there were very high sources saying that Iran had launched a mothership probably about a month ago. So the mothership carries the drones in question, and it's doing this off the east coast of the United States. You see, Van Drew explained that Iran had made a deal with China to purchase drones, motherships, and technology in order to go forward. He couldn't exactly identify his confidential sources, but he did say that the U.S. military was on alert as the investigation continues. Mark Concion, a retired Marine colonel who was an expert on defense and security for the Center of Strategic and International Studies, offered his take on the New Jersey drone issue. He said that usually when the Pentagon doesn't say anything, it's because the information will embarrass them in some way. For him, it's entirely possible that they tested UAVs or unmanned aerial vehicles out and created public hysteria and are now embarrassed to say that it was us. Another scenario, according to Concion, is the military could also be testing new technology, so the Department of Defense could be using some mechanism that they don't want to publicize. So far, we've learned that one of the sites where many of the mysterious drone sightings have been reported is a military installation in New Jersey that has been helping develop robotic drones that can counter weapons of mass destruction. Apparently, the U.S. Army's Armament Research, Development, and Engineering Center, located in the Picatinny Arsenal in Morris County, awarded a Maryland company a $50 million contract in 2018 to develop robotic drones, which can generate three-dimensional maps of urban areas and engage in surveillance to counter WMDs, also known as weapons of mass destruction. A Coast Guard commander even said one of their 47-foot vessel's boats was trailed very closely by more than a dozen of these drones. Coincidence? I definitely don't think so. However, a spokesman for the Picatinny Arsenal said that the military installation has nothing to do with the recent drone activity over the state. So the question is, do we believe them? New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy says that the federal government has the authority to shoot down the mysterious drones spotted flying over his state, and that he wouldn't be opposed to them playing a more robust role in the matter. Now, as the Democratic governor put it, this is their top priority and that they take nothing off the table. In short, either they've got nothing or they're hiding something. Which between those situations do you guys think it is? Drop a quick comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Also, we've got other great videos on the channel for you guys to check out after this one. I highly recommend you guys check out our other one talking about how Nancy Pelosi is actually connected to alleged CEO killer Luigi Mangione. Seriously, guys, you just can't make this stuff up. So I worked in the IT field for years, and luckily I happen to work for a company where we do business with a lot of different vendors. And one of these vendors used to take us out to lunch on a very regular basis. Let's just say like maybe once a month, once every 2 months. But when I say they would take us out to lunch, they would take us out to lunch. I'm talking about they would take us to some of these really fancy restaurants that I would only hear about or I drive past them, but they were very expensive places. And I'll be honest with you guys, I just wasn't in a position where I was willing to pay that kind of money for food. They're very expensive. I'll just put it that way. Anyway, so one day we go to lunch, and right around, it was a late lunch. So right around, I don't know, like 1:30, 2 o'clock, we're leaving and we're waiting for the car to be pulled up because they have mandatory valet. So anyway, while we're waiting for our car to get pulled up, I'm staring at this beautiful black Ferrari 458, and I'm like, wow, this thing is crazy. I don't even get to see those kind of cars often. I don't know if it's just me being a car guy, but I just wonder sometimes, like, how do people afford these things? So after the valet pulls the car up, the owner starts walking towards it, and I just happen to say, hey man, that's a sharp car. So the owner turns around and says to me, thanks, I appreciate it. So then I say to him, since he seemed friendly, I was like, hey, is that your first Ferrari? So he turns around and he says, oh no, I have 6 more, but this is probably one of my favorite ones. I said 6 more? That response sparked a 2-minute conversation that I had with this guy. And let me tell you, what he shared with me in that brief 2-minute conversation completely changed my life. And it's life-changing conversations and lessons like this that I decided to share right inside of our Liberty Pursuit network. And to be honest with you, it really wasn't even so much the car that he was driving. It just made me think to myself, like, how does this guy just have the freedom to be able to live his life the way he did? Nice car, hanging out at a fancy restaurant in the middle of the afternoon. It really made me wonder, how do you do that? Anyway, when I was living paycheck to paycheck, I wish that I knew people like this that would kind of like let me know the inside scoop. So anyway, if you want to join like-minded people just like us, join us over in the Liberty Pursuit Network. I left a link for you guys in the description down below this video. So definitely check that video out after this one. But now I would like to, and hey, as always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Double thanks for hitting the like button. I really appreciate it, guys. I always appreciate you guys here on the channel. And don't be a stranger, all right? Stay subscribed to the channel, keep that notification bell turned on, and I'll see you guys on the next one.